The guy with the cap. Last question. Of course, now it better be a good one. Go ahead.
Oh, it's such a blessing to see you, Mr. President. Thank you for taking time out of your day. Oh, great Scott, thank you so much.
All right, you see who he took? You see the stooge? Look at it. So he culls, his staff culls the dregs of society, the homeless, the crack addicts, puts them into a room and says, ask the president questions. So it just shows you who he's pandering to, the bankers on Wall Street and the poor of the earth. The middle class is going to evaporate if this is not stopped. I don't think you understand what's at stake here. The country will change for sure, that we all know. The far left has seized power in this country. Obama did not run as a far leftist. We try to warn you he was. We try to tell you all the people around him were far left radicals, but you didn't believe us. The far left pretends that they have a mandate to bring America to its knees and move us into a direction none of us want to go in except the far left. So a small band of leftists have now seized the country, and they're steering Obama in that direction. So they take a former Greek woman who married a banker who became gay and left her his money, who started a website and changed her hairdo and lost weight. They put her into the newsroom, one of the minions from her. Then they take a failed flop talk show host who couldn't talk his way out of a paper bag because of the high levels of carbon dioxide. They put him in the press room. It's unbelievable. Now imagine if a Republican had won and put a conservative in the press room, along with someone from a right-wing blog. Can you imagine what would be going on in the midstream media? You know, as far as I'm concerned, all you people in the news business, I hope to God you all lose your jobs. You know, I used to say like 2 weeks ago, you shouldn't lose your jobs. You should be ashamed of yourselves. I don't care if you all lose your jobs. Yeah, America needs a free press, but you're not it. We are. We are the last voices of freedom in this country. You people have sold your souls to the devil a long time ago. That's my opinion. And I don't need you to write about me. You need me to talk about you. Let me tell you that. Let me make it very clear. I'll be standing long after you're sitting in a cafe plotting the next revolution. I'm still on the radio 15 years later. You're not going to have a job. Your newspapers are going up in smoke because you sold your soul to the devil a long time ago. And I never sold out, and I never will sell out. I'm telling you Obama's a neo-Marxist, and I'm telling you the people around him are even more dangerous than he is. And I'm telling you that these press conferences, these so-called town hall meetings, are nothing but Stalinist show trials, as far as I'm concerned. So they get a cracked-up lunatic from a college, then they get a homeless woman out of a car. Where was the middle class there? There was no middle class, because that's the future of America, the very rich and the very poor. That's how Marxism operates. The middle class dissolves. It shrinks. It becomes smaller. Take your guess where this one will end up. There's no question the middle class is contracting. There's no question about that. The question is how far it will contract and whether much of it will be left at the end of this man's tenure. That's the only question. We know that the rich will get richer than ever before, no matter what they say. Why do I say that? Nancy Pelosi is the richest woman in Congress. She has been for many years. Do you actually think she's going to want to give up her income to the poor of the earth? Do you actually think Dianne Feinstein wants to give up her income to a crack addict in Orlando, Florida, who wants a job? Do you actually think that? Do you actually believe for a minute that these people with billions of dollars are going to want to give it up to the poor of the earth? Make no mistake about it, they don't. And they won't. And so they're not going to be affected by what happens. The rich won't be affected. And the poor, meaning the middle class, will be affected. And the poor will benefit. People, for example, who do not pay federal taxes will get a rebate. That's what Obama's doing. In other words, he's stealing from those who earn and giving it to those who don't. Did you ever hear that? You think he's a Robin Hood? Taking from the rich and giving to the poor? You're wrong. He's not a Robin Hood. He's a Robbing Hood. He's taking from the middle class and giving to the rich and the poor. He's not taking from the rich and giving to the poor. Because if he was taking from the rich and giving to the poor, the people on Wall Street would be paying for it right now. But they're not even giving up their perks, are they? Madoff is still living under penthouse arrest. Why is that? How come he's not in the slammer? So don't be confused. He's not a Robin Hood. He's a Robbing Hood. And he's robbing the middle class of their future. He's not taking the money from the rich and giving it to the poor. He intends to take it from the middle class and give it to the poor so that you move down the social scale. Now, I was the one who created the phrase trickle-up poverty. I did so during the campaign. I did so right on these airwaves, if you were listening. I forget the exact date, but I created that phrase. And I said I created this phrase for John McShane to use tonight in his last debate with Obama. I said that if you get up there, John, and you say this to Obama during the last campaign, The last debate. If you say to him, Mr. Obama, we've seen this before. It's called trickle-up poverty. It would have been the end of the campaign, and McCain would have won. It would have been a small victory, 5 points, but a lot of the people who didn't know which way to go would have gone that way, and we would have had this guy in office. But McShane was put up to lose. He was put up to fall. He was put up as a fall guy. John McShane has always been a fall guy ever since he suffered that tragedy of brainwashing and such in Vietnam. I don't know what they did to him in the Hanoi Hilton. God only knows. He's a hero to me. But I'm pretty sure they rewired his brain. Had he used my phrase, trickle up poverty, on Obama, he would have won. But he didn't use it because he didn't want to win. But tell me I'm wrong. Looking at what you see now, looking at the $1 trillion giveaway, are you telling me that this is not trickle up poverty? Are you telling me that the middle class is not going to become poorer under Obama? You know I'm right. In other words, the poverty will go up the social ladder, but there's going to be a firewall when it comes to the very rich. They will not be touched by any of this. So make no mistake about it. Obama's no Robin Hood. He's a Robbing Hood. And he's not taking from the rich to give to the poor. Witness Wall Street. They haven't been touched yet, have they? No one's been indicted, so far as I know. Has anyone in the SEC been called into an indictment? Grand jury been called on the former head of the SEC? I haven't seen it. So no, old Obama is not a Robin Hood taking from the rich to give to the poor. Old Savage tells you he's a Robbing Hood taking from the middle class to give to the poor. You sucker, who voted for him. You idiot. The swing voter, you're going to pay for your sin.